Alrighty. So I wanted to do a few things with the channel for a little while. For one, I wanted to start getting into the whole gun tuber sphere because that's a lot of the stuff I do in my personal life. So why the fuck not just record stuff? I purchased this little lid cam. It goes onto the brim of a hat, so it can record stuff for you from like POV. Wanted to do some stuff with it. Unfortunately, didn't read the fine print. Doesn't come with a SIM card, so last shooting trip, was not able to use it. Oh well, I still have a lot of footage. I'll get to it eventually. But for right now, what I'm trying to do is do a short little series going through some of the clips I have of kind of teaching my buddy Arthur, who just recently got his first handgun, all the different things about guns. Because he's jumped into the firearm world pretty heavily back about February. He bought his first handgun. After a lot of advice from me and asking me things. Found him a deal on Gunbroker for a P365 for like $400. It came with a Streamlight on it and all the works. And he liked it. He purchased it. Likes the gun a lot. Now he's learning how to shoot, especially with a compact handgun. And he's dove a lot into that stuff. Like he got his first AR-15 recently. I gave him an upper. He bought a binary lower for his first ever rifle. So he's got a binary trigger on it. Uh, just kind of introducing him into the world of firearms one step at a time, and kind of I've been documenting his journey a little bit. I've been going out with him for a few months now, taking him to different ranges, teaching him to shoot different things, and we've got a lot of clips of it. And the idea is we want to record them all, and then eventually go through and give commentary on them and talk about like the learning journey of getting better. So that if anyone else is ever newer to firearms, it might help them out. Also, if you like guns, it's just fun stuff. Everyone likes seeing somebody new get into the hobby, and he really likes it. So that's what we're doing here. That's my deal. I I've had a lot of fun with it, and I'm hoping this is entertaining to people as much as it is like a source of pride for me, because I think it'll be a lot of fun. I know nobody watches my stuff. It'll mostly just be my friends, but we'll go over some basic stuff. Background to anyone who doesn't know me. I started shooting at about 12. When I was 15, my dad got me my first ever rifle. It's a Mosin Nagant. It's in the closet back there. I enlisted at 17. I joined the Army as a scout. So I did that for a while. So I had to shoot all the fun machine guns and grenade launchers and all that stuff. Ended up being the armorer after a while, so I got to mess with a lot of stuff. Even the things that I, in my role, shouldn't have gotten to use. I got to play with a lot of the sniper rifles and the marksman rifles and pistols and the shotguns and all the stuff that as a scout I wouldn't usually be able to do. I'm the armorer, so I have to go anyways. I was also the ammo handler. So whatever range we were doing, I got to go. And if I'm gonna go, I might as well shoot, right? So I got to shoot a lot of fun stuff, take a lot of cool classes. As civilian side, I got my private security certification. Never actually really got work there. It was one of those things like, hey, maybe I'll find work on the weekends, and I didn't do it. But it was fun to take a class. I've taken some other pistol classes. I just enjoy it. I'm trying to get into gunsmithing right now. So, like, for example, my pistol here, the hammer spring that goes back here, I replace it with a lighter one. Makes the trigger pull, triple check, empty. Makes the trigger pull a lot lighter, so it's easy to be very crisp and like not make the gun move at all when you fire it. So I that's not the only custom spring in there. Most of the springs in my guns I've done. The gas system on my AR-10 is tuned. I like to tinker a lot, especially with firearms. I'm also clearly, if you've seen my channel for a while, I'm also into HEMA, so historical European martial arts. I just like weapons in general, and I like knowing how to use them. It's fun. So first off, I have this little day zero file here. So to explain, this is the first time I took Arthur shooting. Uh, to get a gun. He shot a few of my stuff a little bit, but he never like really shot. So I took him to a range with my pistol, which is this one right here, and some other handguns, including my SP01 and my M&P 45. Cool. Plus some of the range rentals, a 22, a 365, some other things. I wanted to be a 365. That was my recommendation to him, so I made sure he shot a rental and made sure he liked it because I don't know one personally. I like to tinker with my stuff. We're going to take a look at these videos, and I'm going to kind of just give my observations of things and try to go through some advice where I can, things to take away for Arthur. You know, he's doing much better now, and he goes to the range without me, with other friends. He's made friends with these like 3-gun competition shooting. He's been getting some tips from there. So I have more of like the combat shooting side, and then my buddy has the competition side from other stuff. So he's gonna become this lovely little fucking shooter. I guarantee it. He's been great. But we're gonna go through some of the clips I have. Oh, this first.
There we go. 5 yards, so 10 yards in reality. What can you do with my gun, Arthur?
So this is the first one. I gave him my gun, all nice and fancy, all the bells and whistles off the rip. People like to shit on lasers a lot, first and foremost. I like lasers if it's a laser light combo. So if I point over, where can you see it? There. If you're already going to have a light on your gun giving you away anyways, you're not losing anything from a laser. People shit on visible lasers a lot, because they're not really that useful in the military unless you're wearing a gas mask. But the civilian side is not the military, so the same rules don't apply. We're not using night vision, and white light isn't the death of us. So, like, sometimes a laser can be nice. Sometimes you can't get the right angle to, you know, get a lovely shot from cover, or else maybe you're injured. Maybe your dominant eye is hurt or something. Maybe it's just too fucking dark to see your iron sights and you don't have a red dot, but you want a flashlight. Or else, as you'll see here, I think it's a really good training tool, because when you're shooting and they jerk the gun a little bit, it'd be hard to pick up on the hands, because this little micro movement doesn't really look like much from the perspective of the camera. If I go this way, so you see it. If I'm jerking the thing, you can't see it super well from behind the shooter. The laser shows you on the target, so I like it a lot. I really, really like lasers as a training tool more than an aiming tool. But I'm not a fan of gun autism, where people are like, this is the right way to do it, you have to follow my religion. My religion of how to shoot a gun, and if you stray, fuck you. No, I don't do that here. Do whatever works for you. Do what you like. You know? So that's my first thing off the bat.
My sexy looking gun.
It is a sexy gun.
Bullseye, Arthur. Oh, yeah.
It's his first real shot with a pistol. Oh, see?
I saw you flinch.
Jerked it down and left, and you can see it because of the laser. You can watch him do it. So this is a very common thing, right? You're again, we're gonna triple check. This is empty. There's no hole in my ceiling. Fantastic, the gun is empty. There is no magazine. Alright? We all agree we're safe. Fantastic. Right? So basically, if you don't know how this works, when you pull a trigger, right, naturally, your finger curls inward. So the gun is going to want to move inward. So left if you're a righty, right if you're a lefty, right? Simple. Alright, so the way you counter this, generally, obviously, people are going to say, oh, it's your trigger squeeze, just fucking pull the trigger different. Depending on the length of your hands and the size of your gun, you might not be able to get a comfortable trigger squeeze that's fully dynamic, but you can try to adjust where on the pad of your finger you pull the trigger, and that might help you reduce it. That's great if you can. In my opinion, that's not the thing that matters most. It's this offhand, right? You put your thumb forward. This has nice little stippling that shows you where to do it. Thumb forward, you lock your hands in, and you twist. Right? That you push with your thumb and all that muscle there, like you're trying to twist the gun. And then this hand twists the other way. And you get a nice, even, stable pressure, and the gun doesn't fucking move. It's really quite simple once you get the hang of it. Please try it if you have issues. Most people have the most issues with handguns, and it is mostly because they shoot down and left. Why do they shoot down and left with a handgun, not a pistol? Because here you have one point of contact, so if you like teacup or like do like revolver style, right? You have 1 point of contact, which means it's a pivot point. So the gun wants to rotate a lot very freely. It doesn't take a lot to rotate. If you do this, you're almost creating a second point of contact. It'd be even more if you had like an actual second grip, but that's illegal. Fuck you, says the ATF. But when you extend it out, you at least make it so it doesn't pivot freely. You get a much more stable shooting position. Rifles, on the other hand, I got my little Scorpion here as a prop for this. All right. First off, even if I have no stock, this is still 2 separate points of contact, so it doesn't pivot. But then, you can pull it into your shoulder for one. You could actively pull, right? My voice correct, goddamn. You also have a 3rd point of contact and a 4th. This gun is locked in place. It's not moving. It doesn't fucking matter. Locked open. Pinky in the bolt. It's dirty. I just shot it. Right. But it doesn't fucking matter how I pull this goddamn trigger. I can do it like this. The gun's not going to move. Right? It's not. So when people say trigger squeeze on a rifle, I'm sorry. Unless you're doing like extreme long range shooting. Trigger squeeze on a rifle doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't. Alright. It might for very specific niche things. Generally, trigger squeeze with a rifle, not important. But on a pistol, it's fucking everything. Alright, that triggers what's going to fuck you up. That's our first little clip there. It's the most common issue you see with pistol shooters, in my opinion, is that down and left. And that is a bitch to drain out of people. And you'll see over the next few videos, it's going to take a while to get Arthur to stop fucking doing that. But he does eventually stop. He gets better. Alright, I'm rambling a lot. I had to just reset myself real quick. So, number 2. This is after a little bit more shooting. A is pretty consistently going down. Yeah. Hold on. Let's grab this. Alright, so. It is pretty consistently lower left side of the target here, right? Because that's very consistently his issue. He's trying to shoot for the face, and he's going down and left. He tries to shoot for this little crosshair here, down and left. I don't remember where this random flyer came from, but this is across different pistols. Very consistently, everything he's doing is low and left, and it's because he's not getting that grip and that twist, that rotation down. But also, another thing to note, my pistol has a nice, custom, extremely light trigger. Takes very little force to actually pull, means you're not pulling very hard to twist it, right? So I can shift over to the laser to demonstrate. Where can we see it? Right there. I can pull the trigger one-handed, it doesn't really move. So, the second hand isn't super useful for that, because it's a very light trigger. It doesn't really create a lot of rotational force. When you get to, say... Don't fall. Alright. Get to, say, this, a more cheap, blue-collar working man's gun with a stocked trigger, with a built-in trigger safety. Clear, right? Clear, no magazine, no bullet in the chamber, right? This is going to, let's just do this, right? Put a line the iron sights up for you. It wiggles a little bit. It does, especially when I'm not bracing it or gripping it properly, because there's a very distinct click when it goes off, and also it's just a heavier, shittier trigger. So, there are differences. There are. The gun does matter, but if you practice a lot, it matters less, if that makes sense. But he's very consistent with the same problem. And, again, this is day 0. He doesn't own his own gun yet. So this is the very basics, giving him something in his hand, seeing how he does. And that said, his groupings aren't terrible, and he's generally on target. If you're shooting for the face, and you hit him in the jaw, he's probably going to stop trying to stab you. Probably. This is also a half-skill target. It's set at 5 yards. but it's half scale, which means it's kind of simulating about 10 yards. Reference most pistol incidents. Most pistol defensive gun usages take place around like 3 to 7 yards. So this is already simulating a further range than you will likely ever need to do. That's because I would rather train to a higher standard than a lower one, because if you under stress, you perform worse than in training, obviously. So if you're training to a higher standard, then when you fuck up and you're scared, you might make standard, right? So I start people like this. A lot of people also, when they learn to shoot, they get taught to brace the rifle on the bench and sit there, and you take one shot every 5 years. And you might get better accuracy there, but it's also fucking useless. So we don't do that. I don't teach people to do that. I start you out, and I try to have a safe pace. Like, don't sit there and go bah, 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 and like shoot the ceiling. But I try to make people go at a relatively reasonable pace. I try to do at least one round every 2 seconds. Is what I try to hold people to. Faster if you can shoot faster accurately. But you know, so given all of that, I'm pretty happy with these results already for day 0. It's good enough to keep you alive, probably. So I'm a little bit of an asshole towards him because we're friends, but like, this isn't bad.
Ready, Arthur.
Now there's one of the range rentals. I think this is a
Grip right.
G2C.
Yep, that's good grip. Kind of get your heel higher up. Run it high and tight. Finger off the trigger, Arthur. All right, you want it high and tight because you want the recoil to travel as much into your skeleton as possible instead of your muscle, right?
Hold on.
That's why this 365 does so well. Is the axis is so low, it goes directly into your arm. Even though it's smaller, it feels lighter. Yeah. That's why the 365 does so well. Hit it, Arthur.
And we're low left again. See? Alright. Play.
Ready, Arthur.
So.
Okay, grip right. Yep, that's good grip. Kind of get your heel higher up.
High up as you can get it.
High and tight. Finger off the trigger, Arthur. All right, you
Oh,
want it high and tight because
high
you
and
want the
tight.
recoil to travel as much into your skeleton as possible instead of your muscle, right? Right. That's why this 365 does so well. Is the axis is so low, it goes directly into your arm. Even though it's smaller, it feels lighter. Yeah. That's why the 365 does so well.
Yeah. So when I say the axis, the bore axis, right? The opening of the muzzle is the bore. You want this to be as close to in line with your skeleton as possible. That it's going backwards, because if it's up here and pushing back, right? So here's a way you can do this. Don't use your hand, even though I know for a fact this is empty. This is objectively stupid what I'm doing. Follow gun safety, please. I'm going to be a retard because I don't care. That's bad to say, but you know. But I'm not getting lazy and complacent. I've made sure like 15 times it's empty. Accidents happen when people get lazy and get too comfortable. But don't. Like, again, I check habitually. Okay? But get your nice high, tight grip and put it out. And then if you smack backward, this doesn't really move a lot. Whereas if I were to grab down like this to demonstrate, it, same force, it wants to rotate upward when there's backward force, right? You can use a stick. I should just use my phone, like right up high like this. Part of it is that I'm obviously gripping looser here because I can't really get my handle around it. But it's also just a very simple direct back versus rotational when it's not pushing back into anything. So nice and as high as you can get it. Makes sense? Hopefully that makes sense. I know I'm a little rambly. I don't have a script. This isn't something I've done before. I'm trying to work on it. We'll see how it goes. But, you know, the little lessons to learn. And he is managing recoil better. He's starting to shoot a little bit faster already, even though it's still not the third gun we've shot here. Alright. Again, I want to stress, you're still hitting someone. And this is like a half-scale target. at 5 yards, so it's like 10 yards. So up close, it'd be in the red zone. It would. Okay. That is our day 0. And then we just swapped over to a 22 to try to see if I can get him to stop flinching with something that's lighter. 22, little squirrel caliber, right?
Lean forward.
So the only 22 pistol I actually own is this revolver. It's broken right now. The pin that holds the cylinder in sideways has flown out while I was shooting it, because I shoot this thing a fucking lot. So, that sucks. So I need to get a new one. It's like $10. I just haven't ordered it yet. But this is what I have. As for how to make sure this is safe, I have something great for you all. Fantastic. This is my 5-year-old daughter.
About guns, right?
I know.
All about guns.
Okay, so
And also,
what do you do with this?
I don't point it at people.
Nope. No, what are you doing?
I don't point it at these or this, and I
Not her
don't
feet or her
point it
head.
at you and I also just know.
All about guns.
Okay. How do you make sure there's no bullets in it?
So you gotta do this
You gotta open loading gate. Yep.
and do this,
One more click. There you go.
and then count to 6.
Yep. So count to 6.
1, 2.
Let's try that.
Let's try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So there's no bullets. All right.
Now let's put this back.
Yep.
And then also put it back.
Ella knows all about guns.
And I know all about guns.
So as you can see there, she's 5. She already knows nothing. No touchy trigger. I tend to hold it like this with my palm over the trigger, so nothing can get in the trigger well. If I'm not gonna shoot, right? Extra protected. But point is, gun safety from a 5-year-old. Obviously, they no trigger, don't point at anything. Just muzzle awareness, because no what's your target, what's behind it is part of that. The 5-year-old knows you have no excuses if you shoot something by accident. That's on you. I have no sympathy for you, basically. Yeah. So carrying on. Whee! Where's the other thing? A0 pistol. Ruger Mark III, I think. I don't think it's a Mark IV. I'm not really a Ruger 22 guy. I'm not really a 22 guy. Got that grip I taught him. He's maybe a little low, but he's got his lead hand high at least. Going forward. I don't really have on that. But as you can see, he's back down and left. He's still got the down and left issue, but he got a lot more confident with his 22. He started doing a lot better. I didn't record everything because my phone was like out of space. The background, you'll see I have a wedding ring on a lot of these early videos. I don't know. Imagine that. There was a lot of shit going on at this time, and my phone having enough storage space was not a priority. So I had like 20 minutes of recording time on my phone to try to recycle through all of this and then get home and move it to my computer to do something a little later. By home, I actually mean I was sleeping on Arthur's couch here because I'm not married anymore. Yeah. So, great friend. Love this dude. Alright. I can't give Arthur enough props for all the shit he has done for me. Absolutely phenomenal guy. Yeah, that's my day 0 collection of his little shooting journey. I'm gonna do my day one stuff in a bit, but my friend has been hounding me to play a video game with her for a few hours now. So I'm gonna do that now and stop blowing her off. Sorry, Ellie. But yeah. Hopefully someone gets some enjoyment out of this. I know it's very rambly. For the next one, I'm gonna try to rewatch stuff and have some notes ready. But I just wanted to get this done with, so it was begun, and I would maybe actually continue with because I've been putting it off for months. So everyone that's watches this, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you learned something. If you're in a country where you can own guns and you're considering it, hopefully this series can help you get into it. A kind of no bullshit beginner level. Without all the super preachiness or the snobbery or the fucking gun autism, as I say, in the community, telling you a million different things. And also, if you live in a country where you can't own guns, then hopefully this is at least entertaining for you. And if you already are into guns, hopefully you agree with everything I said. If you have a disagreement, you are more than welcome to politely put it down below, and I will absolutely. I don't get very many views, so obviously I will respond to any and every comment I get, and we can have a discussion about it. If you disagree with the way I'm doing something, that's totally fine. If you want to bitch me out for the whole I'm going to smack the front of my gun and be stupid, go ahead. You are more than welcome to. I acknowledge it's stupid. It's technically breaking a rule, the same way that my taking a gun apart is technically breaking that rule because you're going to take most guns apart. Or like blank fire training in the army is breaking the rule because you're firing blanks from real guns at other people. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Hopefully you get something out of this. And I'll see you all next time.